Afternoon. This is the Angels in Politics broadcast. Of course, I am the white collar goon, the creative and artistic manifestation of Angels in Politics. Of course, I want to speak to you about, well, just life in general. It gets to a point, or there will be a point in your life whereby you might feel isolated. You might feel that nobody understands where you're coming from, based on a number of factors. You could just be growing at a different rate than your peers. You might be interested in different things than your family and friends. You might have a passion or an inkling or a burning desire to achieve something or go after something that is not in alignment with your environment, based on the people who you spend your time with, spend your day with, family, friends, close acquaintances. And this is okay. This is okay because when you're younger, when you're a teenager, when you're a young adult, or whenever you're a more seasoned adult, we all have these insecurities. We all have these fears. We all have these moments of self doubt in which we believe that we are not on the right path, and we're not aligning ourselves with the spiritual word of God or the universal creator. We're not aligning ourselves with our spiritual self, our universal self. We're not going into meditation, and we're not asking ourselves these questions, or changing the questions that we should ask ourselves in order to align our thoughts and our behaviors with onward and upward progress and momentum. And momentum is a powerful tool because it's just like an automobile. Like, if it's in neutral, it's not going to go anywhere, but as soon as you get some people behind it, and then you start pushing, and you get maybe a second or a third or a fourth person to start pushing, oh yeah, those wheels start moving forward, and that car that was once neutral is now propelling itself forward, or now it's accelerating. And that's the same thing with our lives. We're all linked through a universal accord. It's like life is one big puzzle, and we all have a piece to it. But it takes you to understand the power in the power in yourself, the power in your capabilities, the power in your potential to unlock your treasures and your fortune and those antiquities. They're all here. Your antiquities, the art, the rarities, the treasure, the fortune, is all here. And we call that a political collective, or we call that the political collective. But I mean, we have political creative, and we have political capital, but the political corrective or collective is really understanding that the treasure, you have treasure here. The collectibles, or the collection, is all here. And you have to find out that through perspective is how your mind is opened up to these opportunities. Through perspective, now you wake up and every day you see that there's opportunity ahead of you. Now with this perspective, you go to bed and you wake up, and your day is spent on a different frequency, a different wavelength, a different mindset, a different outlook, because your perspective has expanded your window, your QB vision. You were only seeing a slither, but now it's opened up, it's expanded, it's flexible now. You've worked on that cognitive flexibility and that cognitive discipline, and we overcame that cognitive dissonance in which what we were used to learning, and what was normalized in our programming, in our conditioning, is not in alignment with what we're interfacing with currently. It's like, no, like, what I was taught in school is not what I'm seeing here. Like, the smart people who I grew up with are not evidently that smart in real life. Like, the people who are telling me this, the people who I trusted with this, the people who I grew up with, my family, my friends, they wanted the best for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they were the best purveyors of information in that respective topic. Like, everybody who's giving you financial advice isn't the person to receive financial advice from. Every person who's giving you health advice isn't the most healthy person. Wellness advice, wealth advice, all kind of advice that we seek, and you understand it's like, damn, why I'm at an age, or why I'm at a moment, or why I'm at a specific period in my journey, in my chapter book, in my movie, my film of life, in my soundtrack of life. Why is it that people aren't in alignment with where I'm at, or why aren't people like understanding where I'm at, or why don't people get where the fuck I'm at? Like, I'm trying to transcend. I mean, Beyonce had the song about upgrading you, like fucking upgrade. I'm trying to fully transform and recalibrate my whole process, my whole system. Like, if I'm an operating system, like, I'm trying to upgrade and, develop into the new generation, 5G, 6G, 7G. Like, I'm going to algorithmic decision making, machine learning, doing, processing. Like, I'm that person. Like, fuck are you talking about? The fuck is wrong with you? Everybody else is cool being like mediocre. Everybody else is cool being a fucking spectator. People are cool as shit, and not even like comfortable cool. Like, I'm talking like they're happy to not be where they are in life. They're happy to not put themselves out there and achieve their dreams. They're like fully content with taking the back seat to whatever is in life and letting fate dictate their future. I think this is okay. Actually, I say God bless, because I couldn't be that person if I wanted to. Like, I have to be this way. Like, I was forced to be this. I was forced to start my companies. I was forced to get out of my comfort zone. I was forced to be the person who contextualizes his dreams and makes his, you know, alternative world a reality. And I want you to understand, or to really fully like grasp the concept of, I don't have any like special, I'm not gonna say a specialized skill, but I don't have, I don't have the gift of being, 7 foot, or I don't have the gift of running 100 yards in 9 or 8 seconds. Like, I don't have those physical gifts. What I do have is caring. I have compassion. I have passion. I have dedication. I have persistence. And you have that too. I just like fucking like times it by 100. And that's why I'm turned the fuck up.